Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending our monthly webcast. My name is Ryan, and along with Diane, we will be your host today. This month, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to discuss what we have developed in the year 2014, the new products. We're also going to give you an overview of our plans for 2015. Some really exciting stuff that we've done. Please know that this list is not comprehensive, but we're going to cover most of the really good stuff that we've come up with this year. So I hope you're as excited about this as I am. So let me start by giving you a quick overview of our agenda for this webcast. First, we're going to talk about what DPS has been doing to help support your mobile devices, your smartphones and your tablets, even some wearable devices. Then we're going to talk about one of the most exciting advancements we've had over the course of the year, which is a revamp of our Flash product, our e-commerce solution. Diane's going to take over at that point, and she's going to talk about some of the enhancements that we've done for our Axon Link product and also for our warehouse management system and our ERP Extend. And then I'm going to wrap it all up by talking about some of the development that we're planning on doing for the 2015 year. Now, I hope you enjoy this, and if you have any questions about any of this, please contact me or Diane or your sales rep or anyone at DPS. We'll be happy to help you out and give you more information. Now, the first mobile product that I want to talk about is one that we'd introduced during the users conference in 2013, and that was our Executive Business Inquiry mobile app. This is an application that we've written and we published on the Google Play Store for Android devices and for the iOS App Store for your iPads and your iPhones. And what this does is it gives you an overview of your sales and billing information over the course of the last month or year. You can determine the time frames that you're looking at, and it lets you compare what happened this month, this year to this month, the same month last year, how you're doing this year up to this time compared to last year at this time. And also, you're able to see things like how you're doing today, how many orders have been placed, what the status of those orders are, whether they're picked or shipped, whether they're held. You're also able to see if any credit memos came in, and you're able to view that in sales dollars or margins. And beyond that, you're able to see things like your outstanding AR and AP summary information. And all of this is available in nice, easy to read, at-a-glance graphs. Now, if you want more detail than just the graph showing you that this month this year versus this month last year, your sales are up or down, you can drill into it and get details. On the today information, you can actually drill all the way down to the order details, the individual orders that were placed today. So it's a really great little product. It's it is restricted to users that have authority to this information, so you don't have to worry about your employees that shouldn't see this type of information getting a hold of it. There is user level access controls. Now, for those of you who use the Executive Business Inquiry program that's already in Extend, you'll notice that all of the features and functions of that program are mirrored in this mobile application. So you do not lose any of the functionality by using the mobile app. And of course, the Extend version will still be present if you would like to use that from your desktop. Now, another great product that we released this year, something else that we discussed during our users conference last year, was our DPS data download tool. And the way this works is, over the years, we've had people who have needed us to develop these complex queries in order to join lots of files together to get data from the ERP system into Excel for them to manipulate. And we've decided to take the legwork out of that and allow our customers the ease of getting that information into Excel with a very, very simple to use web client. And what this will do is it'll let you get your data directly into Excel without having to worry about all the complex queries and file joins to get the complete picture. It's web browser access, so you don't need to download any kind of special tools. And depending on whether or not you want it to be outward facing, it can be outward facing so that someone on the road could get access to this data if they want. If you don't want it outward facing, you could keep that within your own network. The DPS data download allows you to filter data before you actually download it into Excel. So for each of the file download options that the data download contains, you're able to restrict it to specific date ranges, or if it's over items or customers, restrict it to customer ranges or items or item classes, that type of filtering. Some of the raw files could be very large, and we're not looking to just do raw file dumps into Excel. What we want to do is give you a very manageable set of data that will make sense so that you can turn around and turn that into a beautiful chart or graph or pivot table. Another thing that the data download has, and we talked about this whenever we were looking at the executive business inquiry briefly, is user level access control. So for every file download option, you can restrict a user to that or from that option. So it gives a bit of flexibility for managers and helps you protect information that might be sensitive while allowing access to users that need the information for their job position. So a few of the file download options that we have available. We have AR invoice and details. We have AP vouchers and voucher distribution information, customer and vendor master information, all sorts of item balance and transaction details. We also get into general ledger balances and detail postings. And as we're going to discuss next, there's also a GL account budgets and revised budgets that you can download. And this is a growing product, so I would anticipate that you will see more of these file download options added as this product evolves. The counterpart to our data download tool that we just discussed is we have a GL budget upload tool. And if you use our extend GL budget, you're able to maintain that now in an Excel spreadsheet, make changes to that, and update that into replace the budget or the revised budget tables in Extend. So it gives you a nice easy way to maintain stuff in Excel and then push that using the GL budget upload tool into Extend. Now from that, you can also retrieve that information using the data download tool and see your yearly budget or a revised yearly budget for your GL accounts. So very neat feature. If you'd like to see a demonstration of this, I know that Diane did a webcast in the past. We'll be happy to send you a link to that webcast or give you a personalized demo on this. Now, all of us here at DPS are excited about the next product I want to talk about. This year, we rolled out the latest release of our Flash e-commerce solution called Flash Release 8. Now, for those of you who don't know about our Flash e-commerce solution, it is a fully integrated e-commerce solution. It ties into our DPS Extend ERP backend. We have tied it into other backend software. So if you have a different ERP, we can make it work with that as well. It is real time, so it's not like a static website. This is a dynamically generated e-commerce site that is really tailored to your customers, so that if your customer is using this in a business-to-business type experience, they log in and they can get customer-specific pricing. They can see their order history. They can track their orders, the most recent orders that they placed. They can look and see whether it's been shipped or picked and it's held for some reason. And they get real-time inventory availability, so they can look and see how much is left. And if you wish, they can see that all the way down to the distribution center level. So they can see how much is in warehouse A, B, C, and D, rather than just the grand total. So it's a very powerful e-commerce solution, has all the bells and whistles, can be configured in many, many different ways with many different interfaces. What we've done most recently is with Flash Release 8 is we've optimized it for mobile devices. Before, it looked great, but it looked like a normal web page. And I know that we've all had the experience of going to a for desktop browser web page on a mobile device, and you have to pinch and zoom and move stuff around. Well, we've rewritten the infrastructure of Flash to use some really sophisticated web technologies like HTML5 and CSS3 and the Twitter Bootstrap a JavaScript engine, and then we assemble all that as your customer experience warrants it with the Apache Velocity engine. And what that means for you is either your web developers or our web developers are able to rapidly create this really polished looking e-commerce site that looks great on smartphones and tablets and also on your desktop browsers. So you don't lose anything by moving up to Flash Release 8. If you love the way your Flash site looks, it will look just as good in Flash Release 8, but you wind up with the added feature that it now will be responsive on mobile devices. So really great stuff. And just as a quick illustration, I went ahead and took some screen samples and showed you how a potential site might look based on the different orientations of the different devices. If you'd like more information on our Flash products or you'd like to see a demonstration, please give us a call. Your sales reps will be happy to set up a demonstration and we'll answer any questions we can for you. Now, during the 2014 year, we also were able to roll out an enhancement to our Extend product, well, to all of our products, in the form of a new wiki support site. And the DPS wiki contains all of the help text that used to reside natively on your server in Extend, and now it resides in the cloud so that it's easy for us to keep that current updated for you. There's also a lot of advantages to having the help text in a web presence wiki like it is now. We're able to add additional content like images and videos and white papers, and you're able to search across the entire wiki site and even search within the help text for an individual screen that you're on if you are whenever you're using the help text from Extend. I should note that if you have Release 8 Extend, then you have the ability to use this wiki support site. You might need to have some alerts applied, so please let us know and we can get those up and running. If you don't have Release 8 Extend and you would like to use our wiki support site, I think it's another great excuse for you to go ahead and make the switch, make the upgrade to Release 8 Extend. Something else that's unique about the wiki is we found that some of our customers approached us about putting their own help information and their own documentation and storing it securely on our wiki site. And so we've, with a handful of customers, been able to store things such as their customized help text and their own query class information, for example, and make that available only to their specific users. So there's some really great stuff going on with this. If you'd like more information, please give us a call and we'll be happy to get that to you. And finally, this year, we had the pleasure of developing a warehouse app for Google Glass, and it's an application that's designed for warehouse managers. And what it does is it allows a warehouse manager using Google Glass in a hands-free way to walk around the warehouse, look at a location, see what contents are in that location, look at products, like scan a barcode on a box to see what that is and where it exists, and also to do inventory adjustments on those items. So very managerial type tools that are available there. One other feature, it allows you to block and unblock locations if there's a spill or a recall of a product. You can stop transactions from occurring, whether they're picking or receiving or both, just by using Google Glass. It's a very, very cool use of the technology, and we look forward to developing that type of product in the future. Well, hopefully you've seen something so far that you like. And at this point, I'd like to turn the floor over to Diane. She's got some other exciting products to share with you.
Hello, everyone. The next item on the agenda is Axon Link. We found more ways in the past year to make a great product even better. Most of us are accustomed to many of today's technologies, so we've added new features to meet some of those expectations. So let's start with the report viewer. You can now take a spool file and save it as either a PDF or a text file. This is helpful if you need to send off say a GL document to your auditor. And then my favorite new feature is emailing the spool files. So you can highlight the spool file you want to send, click on the icon for emailing, and it'll pop up a little window as we see here on the right. You can send it to multiple email addresses at the same time, enter a subject line, and then also include a message. The next new feature we've added is view another user's spool files. If you remember, in green screen, you would go to the command line, type work spool file, space, the user's iSeries name, and press enter. I'm telling you, this way is so much quicker. And then for those of you who have a custom Axon link, we can now store it on the IFS so everyone can access it there. This allows you to make one change for everyone as opposed to making an individual change on each user's PC. Okay, some other features. We've added a new toolbar icon for the data transfer. Many of you do query database files and need to download those into Excel, and this allows you to do that. We've also added a toggle for the message area because many of you didn't want to be able to see the message area. You weren't looking at it anyway, so now you can hide that. It's just similar to the toggle that you can use to either hide or display the menu tree. And then we've also enhanced the color of the selection lasso to make it easier to see. And then, since many of you came from a green screen background, you were used to keying in a menu number. Well, now we're letting you display the menu number in the menu tree just to give you a better visual of helping to find the menu options. Okay, moving on to ZAP, which is our WMS system. In receipts, you can now display the number of receiver labels per PO when using multiple initiating PO functions. And then, as you can see in the screen print below, we can now decide whether to print barcode labels based on the actual item setting. In the past, it was at the vendor level, and we have found some vendors were not consistent across the board in either providing the barcode labels or not. So this way you can control it on a per item basis. And in picking, we allow item scan during picking when one item per location is active. And then with the screen print below, we can now allow the shipper code to be changed in the wave builder during add mode. In shipments, the number of customer compliancy labels may be controlled by the shipper code. And as you can see to the right, we also let you see all of the picks for the same ship to customer in the stage confirmation screen, because sometimes customers will place multiple orders, and this allows you to group those orders all in the same area on the floor. And then we can print carton labels by pick areas during shipments. And then the automated directed movements. This has to be one of the best time saver, most efficient processes we have. You know, in the past you would walk around the warehouse with a pencil and paper and jot down all of the items that needed to be moved from one location to another for replenishment purposes. Well, this is an automated process, and when we first designed it, we had it based on either a cube or volume logic. Well, we have enhanced this process to be able to choose to use min-max quantities in the primary location. And then we've got inquiries. So in the scanner side, we've added a stock location inquiry where now you can see the serial and lot number, as well as we've added color to make it easier to read the different pieces on the screen. And then in scanner, we've also added an order areas, so now you can display all pick areas for an order pick. And then in the full screens, we've added an open pick monitor by team inquiry, and that's the screen print I'm showing below. So think of having this screen displayed on a big monitor in, say, the warehouse manager's office. And you can keep tabs on the progress each of your picking teams are making. You get to choose how frequently you need this screen to refresh on its own, and then also when to turn it off at the end of the day. The full screen carrier inquiry is now there, and in Cardex, you'll be happy to know we now will show you the stock location when you press the F8 function key. In physical inventory, we've made quite a few changes. Probably the best one is the full screen count reset allows selection of items and locations. Before, you would always have to key in the item number or the location to set it for recounting, but now you can actually pull up a screen and see all of the items or all of the locations and just check off each of those that you want to recount. You can now restrict the scanner item inquiry for the users that are actually out on the floor counting. This will keep them from using the inquiry to see what the system thinks is on hand. And then we've added an F4 prompt for the batch number in all the full screen PI menus. And then we've decided to always include the primary location for a cycle code or item count batch. And you can see here we've done 3 new changes to the variance report. So now you can select the adjustment reason code, and you can determine which cost field you want to use on the report. And for sort sequencing, we've added 2 other options, the item description and then the cycle code. This is in addition to the item and the batch. Moving on to extend, in the GL, you can now insert lines when you're in GL entry. Some of you like to have your journal entry laid out in a certain organized fashion, maybe by GL account number order, whatever, but this will allow you to insert a line if you forgot a certain entry. And then we can view all reporting levels in the display account balances and display detail postings. What this means is that you no longer have to key in the specific reporting level combination with the account number. Instead, just key in the account number and the fiscal year, and that will bring up all levels for you to view. And then we've added a copy and reverse batch. How many times have you posted a batch and realized it was the wrong amount or the wrong date? This will allow you to create a new batch where you're reversing what you've posted, and then also copying an old batch into a new one and then making changes. In accounts receivable, you can now run the age trial balance for a single customer. Okay, moving on to accounts payable. We can now enter a release to amount in the release per pay by vendor. So let's say you want to wire a big payment to one of your primary vendors. This will allow you to enter that amount. Let's say it's $500,000. And then the system will find, starting with the oldest, all of the vouchers that will fit under that ceiling and mark them as released for pay. And then as my screen print shows, when you're in AP entry and you hit the F10 because you want to make a change to a batch, will immediately pop up a window with all of the open batches that are currently out there. So you can see the entry date and the enter by to help you figure out which batch is yours to maintain. And then in the auto recurring payments file maintenance, we've added an F4 prompt for the auto payment number. It's possible to have multiple payments going on with the same vendor. Let's say you bought multiple vehicles from the same vendor, and this will allow you to press the F4 and see the correct one that you need to look at. And then we've added voucher notes so that you can make an entry about a specific voucher for helping remember a certain situation. We've added that in voucher entry, in voucher inquiry, in the cancel open voucher menu, and in the open payables maintenance menu. In order processing, you can now email or fax your acknowledgments from the order completion screen. And if you use promotions, you're going to love this. In the past, all of the promotions were based on giving a discounted price to the items. Well, this will allow you to actually give away free items. kind of that, buy four or get one free thing. And then the screen print is showing that we can now use a template to select the items for credits for the billing memos, credit memos, and RMAs. You may have an order that's maybe 20 lines long but only need to give credit for one. So what this will allow you to do is select just the one you need to give credit for, so you don't have to sit there and delete all the rest of the 19 lines. In sales analysis, we now have added a copy function in the sales analysis report writer. And also in the sales analysis report writer, when you press F4 to see all of the reports you've built in the past, we're now displaying the last date executed. This is helpful if you've got a bunch of reports out there and you're not sure if you need them anymore, or maybe someone from the company has left and you don't need those reports, so this will allow you to help do some cleanup. Then in purchasing, you can now email and fax POs from the completion screen. All right, let's talk about item inquiries. One of the new features we've added is activity noted by color. So we've got red and yellow to help note those items in searching on items, which ones have very little activity or which one has a semi amount of activity versus those that are very popular and you're using all the time for orders. In the main inquiry screen, you can now enter a UPC code in the item number field and it will find the item. And if you use serial and lot numbers in your organization, we have now added a search field on the main inquiry screen. What's great about this is even if you don't know the complete number, you can type in just a portion of it and use our wildcard function and it will find that serial or lot number. And in the past year or so, we have added sortable columns to a number of inquiries, such as the item open orders and open POs, and in the customer AR master and aged invoices and open order inquiry, as well as some AP inquiries. But we've also recently just added it to the item 18, which is the license plate inquiry. What's nice about this is each user can set their preferred sort choice. And then in PO inquiry, you can now drill down per receipt to see all of the items that were received per receipt. Customer inquiries. When you go to the customer comment inquiry, which is the 04, we now have an F4 for the application code. And then one that customers have just absolutely loved is the customer item history inquiry, which is the number 11. So now instead of just viewing the last invoice per item, you're now able to drill down and view all invoices per item. And then on the order inquiry screen, it's very possible for an order to have multiple holds at one time. So now there's an F4 function, so you can press and see all of the holds that are currently being used for that order. So that's the end of my presentation, and we'll turn it back over to Ryan.
All of us here at DPS are very proud of what we've accomplished over the 2014 year. And now I would like to show you some of the really exciting new products that we have in the planning stage for the 2015 year. Now, some of these products are actually in the development cycle and have been tested to some degree. Some of them are still in the early planning stages, but we want to share these with you nonetheless. I'd like to start by giving you a quick peek at a product that I'm extremely excited about, and that is our new Key Performance Indicator dashboard. This is a dashboard that's designed to be user-specific. They get the information that makes sense for their job positions. That each element, each tile on the screen, if you will, is customizable for color, for look and feel, for position. They can reposition them on the screen. And to a certain degree, the content that shows on the screen, the number of elements that you're looking at, the time frame that you're looking at, all of that is customizable. And once again, we're using the same kind of user level authority that we developed for our data download and our executive business inquiry. So from a management perspective, the data that your user needs is available, but they don't have access to sensitive data or data that doesn't apply to their position. So the KPI dashboard refreshes in real time for where it makes sense, refreshes every hour where it makes sense, or doesn't refresh tiles at all where that makes sense. Like I said, it has extremely customizable look and feel, and it looks great on not only a web browser like you see here, where you have control with the mouse, and you can easily, let's unlock these, move elements around, position things, change the colors of tiles, change configuration options, look at the underlying details, set benchmarks. There's all kinds of stuff, way more than we could cover in this short demo, but I just want to give you a taste on how this works, from choosing the different elements that are on the screen up to customizing the elements. And like I said, the look and feel changes based on the device. So as you have it on a tablet or a smartphone, it looks great there too. Like I said earlier, you could expect to see this towards the beginning of the 2015 calendar year. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other products that we have coming out, or at least in the planning stages for next year. Get back over to my PowerPoint here. Earlier in this presentation, we took a look at the new DPS data download tool. Now, that's been a very popular application in 2014, and we have been discussing ways to enhance and improve that for our customer base. And while this is in the early planning and discussion stages at this point, what we've been tossing around is an idea that we can attach Excel templates to this data download process and allow the data, instead of coming directly into Excel in its raw form, coming into a pre-formatted Excel template that already contains a chart or a graph or a pivot table that would offer you something a little bit more to work with. Now, whether DPS provides those templates as defaults and you build from there, or whether we also allow a mechanism for you to upload and maintain your own templates, that's still in the discussion phases. We would love to hear your input on this, but I just wanted to share that this has been something we've been focusing on and maybe stir some discussion on that. Our research and development team has recently been working on a project, and this is well into the development stage, that allows you to store signatures on the server electronically and attach those signatures to AP checks so that you don't have to sign 200 or 300 checks every time a pay run comes. Somebody doesn't have to come along and write their signature on those. There's some intelligence involved on the server for this that allows you to store multiple signatures securely, and then based on the user that's printing the individual check and what check they're printing, the appropriate signature is attached to the check based on a user and document rule. So like I said, this is in the development and testing phases now. I would expect to see this at some point in 2015. Along the lines of signature and signature capture, we also have a partnership with RJS, formerly RJS, now Help Systems, that they have a product called Sign Now, and it has an electronic device that you can sign that will attach your signature to documents and store those away, email them, whatever is needed for that. It has lots of uses, if you can imagine people coming to pick up product at the warehouse and needing to sign documents there. Anytime something needs to be signed and stored, that product definitely has a use. And we've been working on integrating that with our software. So some exciting stuff along the lines of electronic signature capture and electronic signature placement on checks coming in the 2015 year. Now, recently, we've had some exciting discussions about a new product that it's still early in the early planning stages, but we would love to have it available in 2015. It is an extension to our DPS Flash e-commerce solution that would be an app that works on smartphones and tablets. And the purpose of this app would be to go out into a retail environment, if you will, although I can imagine that there's any number of scenarios that this would work in, and scan product rather than keying in SKUs in order to build a replenishment order through the Flash site. And so it will be one of those applications that will be optimized for smart devices, and will use the device's camera in order to scan barcodes. It should be a really exciting application. I look forward to keeping you posted as that progresses. And finally, the last development project I want to talk about today is improvements and enhancements to our integrated email capabilities within Extend. In the past, you've had to use IBM's required us to use a third-party tool, in order to efficiently create PDFs out of documents like invoices or quotes or purchase orders, and then email those out the door. Well, with advancements in hardware and software technologies, IBM has integrated a lot of those features into the server and into the operating system. And so for 2015, we look to have a very streamlined, polished email solution available, one that won't require you to spend the extra money on a product like InfoPrint in order to take advantage of the emailing capabilities. So, and of course, we have many, many more things in the works. Those are just the ones that we want to share at this point. We will certainly keep you posted as other products become available. Now, throughout the course of the 2014 year, we've built some incredible relationships, and we look forward to continuing building those relationships throughout the 2015 year and on into the future. Now, I thank you all so much for your time today. This was a fun webcast to give. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please give us a call or shoot us an email. If you would like a software demo on anything that you've seen here, or you would have some suggestions for us for future products, please let us know. Have a great day. See you next month.